says in chapter 3 over here, the Chavod Levavot just explained that a person has to work and do ishtalud in this world in order for two things: Hashem to test him if he has emunah, and also for us to be busy and not be empty, have an empty schedule that leads to sin, that leads to theoretical things that make us doubt Hashem, God forbid. So therefore, it's busy. Person is busy; it's good for him. That way, he doesn't do sins. But then he says that Hashem could remove from you the curse of Adam Rishon to do work. Why? Because if you prove yourself again and again that you do have emunah every time you go to work, you do the right things, you make the right moves, you follow Hashem's Torah, Hashem can give you the zechut that you don't have to work so much. He removes from you this curse because he doesn't have to test you anymore. And he sees even when you have free time, you're busy with mitzvot, you're busy doing the right things, so why do I have to make you work? I don't have to make you work. Then you become a philanthropist, you become these Baalei Chesed who barely work all day, they're busy doing mitzvot all day, busy with the community matters all day, because Hashem sees that they prove themselves that they don't need to be tested through work anymore. So their work is done in a few hours a day, and the rest of the time they can be busy on the community and busy building and busy learning and busy doing other spiritual things. And Hashem gives them parnasat tova even without working so much. That's a level. The Chavod Levavot says that's a level you could get to. If I just said this, says the Chavod Levavot, and he has a question on himself. According to this, if you're righteous, so Hashem will bless you, that you'll prosper, you'll have parnasat tova, you won't have to work so much, and you'll be busy with the community matters, with mitzvah matters, with learning. So how can we see that righteous people suffer and wicked people prosper? According to this, it should be all the righteous people make tons of money, they should not have to work all day, and the wicked people should be slaves and working all day and should be suffering all day. Why do we see that? So that we see the opposite. The righteous guy is working, he's barely making it by. And the wicked guy, he goes to work, for 2 hours, press a few buttons, bills and insurance, and let's say he walks away with millions of dollars. How could it be? So he says, if you'll ask me, why do we see some righteous people obtain their livelihood only after hard work and toil, and many sinful people experience tranquility, their lives in prosperity and comfort? They take a private jet to vacation 7-8 times a year. They barely have to work. They're raking it in. How could it be? So he says, you should know that this is the universe old question. This is the millions of year old question. Not millions of years. The world existed only 5,785, right? Years, but even the earlier prophets already asked this question. What do they say? Madua derech Hashem tzelecha. Yirmiyah already says in chapter 12. Why does the way of the wicked prosper? It says in Chavakuk, chapter 1. Lama tar'eni aven ve'amal tabit ve'shod hamas lenegdi ve'hi riv madonisa. Why do you allow Hashem? Why do you allow me to see iniquity? You gaze at evil deeds, robbery and injustice. Yet the one who carries strife and contention succeeds. The people making balagan in the world, they're the ones, the sinners, they're the ones who are prospering. Why? Chabakuk, Yirmiyah, it says, Chabakuk also said, Ki rasha machtir tzaddik. We see that the Torah is weakened, the wicked besiege the righteous. Wow. Tahrish bevala rashat tzaddik mimeno. You remain silent when the wicked man swallows up the righteous man. Hashem, all the Nevi'im are complaining about this. King David says, Hine ene reshaim shalvei olam isigu hayim. It says in Tehillim chapter 73, the wicked, they're always tranquil, they have attained great wealth. Well, what's going on over here? So it says the Chavod Levavot. However, each prophet, after they asked these questions in the verses, they gave an answer right away. He says, why? He says, כל אחד מרשעים שהם בטובה העולם הזה, זולת עילת האחר, לכן העיר הזה באומרו, נסתוד להשם, אלוקינו נגלות לנו בנינו. It's because the reason for any particular righteous person being tested with hardship, or the reason why a particular wicked person is having good in this world, he says, is different from the reason why another righteous person or wicked person might have such a life. And since each person is unique, that's what we say, the hidden matters are for Hashem, and the revealed matters are for us. He says that you don't know what each person does. First of all, how can you assume this guy's a tzaddik? Maybe he's not a tzaddik. Maybe he looks like a tzaddik. Maybe behind closed doors, he's not a tzaddik. We know many people like that, who they're wearing a costume. They look religious or not. You find out afterwards, a whole scandal came out of what he did. Because what? It was a fake. And we think this wicked guy is really a wicked guy. But we don't know what secret mitzvah he does. We don't know what he does in his free time. He looks like a wicked guy. He looks like a not religious guy. You see, he's not religious. He's this, he's that. But we don't know what he does in his private time. Maybe he's a very righteous person. There's many stories of the Baal Shem Tov and Tzaddikim who used to pretend like they're nobodies. He used to pretend like they're a shamish, a clean guy who cleans the shul. He used to sleep all day. People say, "Oh, he's a bum. Look how he sleeps in the shul." And at night, he'll be learning Zohar all night. You didn't know who he was. You're just assuming. Number two, he says that there's many hidden things that Hashem has plans for everybody. Maybe this guy in the previous Gilgul, he did many sins, and now even though he's righteous, this Gilgul, this reincarnation, he has to suffer to fix all those things that he did in the past. And maybe this wicked guy, he does all the sins. How he has so much money? Maybe he has a zuchut avot. Maybe he has a zuchut from his grandparents that they were such tzaddikim, and Hashem's paying it back to their family by giving it to this grandson, even though he's not such a righteous person. Maybe this wicked person is getting the reward for his mitzvot in this world instead of getting reward in Olam Haba. So there's so many calculations, says the Chovot Levavot. You can't judge. You can't assume, because each person's case is different. You don't know what's really behind, and that's why the pasuk says the hidden matters are for Hashem, and the revealed matters are for us and our children. And the wise King Solomon said in Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, Im oshek rash v'gezel mishpat v'tzedek tireh b'mdina al tetameh min hafetz. If you see oppression of the poor and suppression of the justice, don't wonder over the fact. A person says, "What is this? The righteous people getting punished and the wicked people go scot-free. Go scot-free. What is that?" So says King Solomon, don't worry. The Torah says in Devarim, the rock. Who's the rock? Hashem's the original rock. He's the rock. What does he say? Perfect is his work. All his paths are justice. Therefore, we don't know. It's very hard. It's very easy to judge. But it's very hard to actually know. Baruch Na'olam.